And then Iran took a turn for the worst. Interestingly enough, there was the Shah of Iran, and then the Shah was displaced by Mossadegh. Mossadegh was democratically elected. Now, to be very fair, the United States and Britain got rid of Mossadegh, and then we reinstalled the Shah. Bad decision, which then led to the Iranian Revolution, where radical Islam took over Iran.
I want to address what she said about tweeting or posting as if it's Charlie, and that being morbidly off, she says. Morbidly off. What are we doing then, guys? Turning Point USA got themselves in a lot of trouble because they put this clip out yesterday. This is brand new. And I want to show you guys this. This is a screen record of my phone, of my YouTube channel.
How much do you actually know about Iran?
I want you to go back to that. You can see there, that clip in the top left corner. That's the clip. And you see it says new. This is a new clip. So as of today, March 3rd, that's what I saw this morning. This popped up. It's a brand new clip. They're using this. All right. There's the clip. It then goes on. I'm going to show you this clip here in a second. But you can see the Turning Point USA YouTube channel. That's their last short right there. Okay. That's what we're going to be talking about here. You can see here, this is brand new. And they put it up after the Trump administration. Let me pause that. They put this up after the Trump administration began its regime change operation in Iran. And now I want you to listen to the clip so you can see what Turning Point USA, the voice of the people, are doing here.
You actually know about Iran. Persia was a great power, and then Iran took a turn for the worst. Interestingly enough, there was the Shah of Iran, and then the Shah was displaced by Mossadegh. Mossadegh was democratically elected. Now, to be very fair, the United States and Britain got rid of Mossadegh, and then we reinstalled the Shah. Bad decision, which then led to the Iranian Revolution, where radical Islam took over Iran. Look at some of these pictures of what Iran used to be. It was wealthy, it was proud, it was strong. The Persians are wonderful people. Some of my closest friends are Persians, and I love the Persian people. And we should have a heart for the Persian people to try and have a better future. Regime change is very difficult to talk about. I actually don't like talking about regime change. It's very complicated, but understand that there can be brighter days ahead for the Iranian people. And just look at some of these pictures of how beautiful Iran used to be, how beautiful Tehran used to be. And it's very easy to kind of sit in your Western armchair and be like, oh, Israel's terrible. Well, you were able to enjoy free speech rights and a lot of rights here in the West that Iran used to have. And if you are serious about actually protecting human rights, you should want to make Iran Western again.
I want to bring up this comment that I saw in here, but his death tent was okay at AmFest, not morbidly off. These people can't read a room. Amen. They can't read a room, and that's a very good example of why they are just simply not the voice of the American people, of America's youth, or of the conservative base. They're not. Like, honestly, and we'll get to this in a second. Charlie was. Erika Kirk, no. Blake Neff, no. Andrew Colvett, no. Mikey McCoy, no. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the Charlie Kirk show on YouTube, which is obviously no longer Charlie Kirk, pulls in like very little views. Very little views. People are not tuning in to get Andrew Colvett's take on things. They're not tuning in to get Blake Neff's take on foreign policy or Mikey McCoy's zesty take on evangelical Zionism. Like, people just aren't doing that. They're just not. But in any case, so here is what Turning Point USA did. You can see right here. Turning Point USA posted Charlie Kirk in his own words. This is what they're doing here. If you are serious about actually protecting, because they're using a quote here, quote, Charlie Kirk says, quote, if you are serious about protecting human rights, you should want to make Iran Western again. And they tagged Charlie Kirk. They tagged Charlie Kirk's X account by posting this. And then there's the video there, and then take a look at the bottom. This post by Turning Point USA was community noted on X and flagged as outdated, old, not reflecting Charlie's most up-to-date views on the subject. It reads right there. This clip predates Charlie Kirk's June 2025 statement calling regime change in Iran pathologically insane. He opposed war, period. So you see what's happening here is Turning Point USA did exactly what Erika Kirk said they were not going to do. Go into the vault, find something that would fit a certain narrative, use Charlie in his own words for a certain agenda. Remember, that would have been morbidly off to do something like that. Well, this is what I would call morbidly off to do. And it certainly is not carrying on his legacy like they talk about they always want to do. It's carrying on a certain agenda on behalf of who? On behalf of who? Is it the American people? Is it the American youth? Is it the American conservative movement? I don't think so. I have an idea of who it's for. Who benefits the most from regime change in Iran? Yeah. I think it's the nation state of Israel. Interesting, huh? Back in June, we have the clearest and most up-to-date perspective that Charlie had on this subject, as the community note says right there. And this is important because, like I said before, Charlie Kirk, unlike Erika Kirk and these dopes who now host the Charlie Kirk Show, Charlie actually did have his finger on the pulse of the American people. And he had a pretty good and nuanced perspective on the subject of Iran. This is what he actually said back in June, which completely defies what Erika Kirk and Turning Point USA 2.0 put out in his own words.
Trump has been consistent for over a decade, saying that Iran will not get a nuclear bomb. Iran will not get a nuclear bomb. President Trump has said that for 10 years. However, if you watch carefully and closely amongst the Washington, D.C. and neoconservative, neo-imperialist class, especially in the Republican Party, they've kind of shifted gears here. They've shifted gears from Iran should not have a nuclear weapon to Iran should not have an Ayatollah. And they've tried to ever so subtly shift the Overton window as if we weren't paying attention. So wait a second, hold on. First, it was that Israel is going to take out the nuclear weapon. And then it was, well, America is going to help Israel take out the nuclear weapon. Still the same theme, but a shift, but still the same theme. One that is defensible if done correctly and prudently. I have some caution towards that intervention, but I can get it. I can get behind that if President Trump executes in a way that only he can. But hold on a second. They're trying to pull a switcheroo. Yesterday afternoon, the neocons that have been wrong about every major foreign policy decision of the last 20 years. They were wrong about Afghanistan. They were wrong about Iraq. They were wrong about Libya. They were wrong about Syria. They were wrong about the Arab Spring. The entire Middle East is filled. It is at capacity with their failures. You cannot point to a random Middle East country without seeing somewhere that John Bolton, Lindsey Graham, and the entire gang of ferocious neoconservatives have messed up.
And that clip goes on even longer and is even more of the same. This is clear. And when you go back to the beginning and then listen to Erika Kirk talk about the way that they are going to use Charlie's social media accounts to continue his influence and carry on his legacy, and then you see stuff like this, like what they did over the past 24 hours, you begin to question. You begin to question, to say the least. It makes you a little suspicious, doesn't it?